Hello, Facebook. I am going to post a short video. As most of you have been seeing in the news, the recent, very sad activity that's been going on in the world, and especially with the whole COVID thing we've got some other stuff that's going on that I think is, at this point, something we can't ignore. And I'll be honest with you, I never post on Facebook. I don't put on Twitter, Instagram. I, I just don't, and I'm also not someone who, to be honest, I don't really play the whole racist card. Some people might want to put it that way, but honestly, in this moment, I just thought, man, okay, this is a moment for me to just be vulnerable and real, and I think that's what is needed right now. I think if all of us can just be real and whatever piece you've got right now, um, whatever it is that we're feeling, I think this is a moment for us to be real. And I think for me, I think the thing that I just feel right now is just sad, for the, George Floyd family. And my heart goes out to them. I've prayed a couple of times today for them and all the things that are about to come for them. And I think the thing I know I have to remember right now is that the battle is not against flesh and blood. This is something that's bigger, and I think these are the times where, when we are holding sort of the earthly authorities accountable, we have to remember what holds the heavenly or the spiritual authorities accountable, and that's prayer. I think that's, if there's anything to do in this moment, it's to pray and to really pray. I think that God does things, He allows things to happen to get our attention. And what He wants in terms of just even my response, I think, man, I have not been praying about stuff like this. And it's unfortunate that things have to get to a point, and I'll just say for me, to get my attention. I don't, quote unquote, typically I don't worry when I drive. But at this point, I would say for the first time in my life, I worry about getting stopped. I think to some degree, man, we got to be thinking, okay, what do I do in the meantime? I know I need to be in prayer. Again, that's what moves situations is prayer. But the other is sort of like a plan. Okay, so what? And some people I think are gonna just kind of be divided on this. Some people will be like, don't capitulate, don't give in. That just and emboldens the fear. I got a bride and a boy to come home to. I was spending time with my family earlier today, and I was just like, I'll do anything to come home to them. And at some point, we do want to work towards justice. We do want to work towards accountability. But in the meantime, I think for me, just getting in the car, it's like I'm gonna have my little whatever I need, the registration, the license, insurance. I'm gonna have that ready. Because maybe I don't at this point in my life and where we are in society. I don't, as a 6'10" African American male, I don't get the same, if you would, the privileges. And I'll be honest, I don't get stopped much. I want to be honest. I don't. Again, I don't want to be part. It's a both and. I don't get stopped much. But now I'm also at a point where I do have fear. My wife is actually fearful. I love, one of my favorite things talking about prayer is to go at nighttime on prayer walks. And my wife for a couple years has just been like, she doesn't feel comfortable with it. So I think just as people of faith, the question is how do we talk about this? We have to. If church is a place where we can't talk about this, we're in trouble. I'm very serious. And I think the other aspect of it is that we need to really be thinking about what people in our fellowships are feeling with this. I know for me, I've been on the phone throughout the day today. I had people call me from other cities just checking in. And that meant the world, quite honestly. We really need each other, and it's about to get worse for everyone. I'm a mental health professional who I've worked with law enforcement. I used to work in a penitentiary, doing mental health, providing mental health services and so forth. And I have friends who are in law enforcement. And I do feel I do feel sad because it's about to get hard for everyone. It's about to get harder for law enforcement people. It's about to get harder for people who are minorities. It's about to get harder for people who are in the majority. I mean, you see the what happened on in New York in the park, months back. We also know about the guy who's running and was gunned down. So yeah, I mean, to some degree, until it hits close enough to home, it just doesn't register. And at this point, you know, when you see the video, I mean, for me, that moves something in people. Like, I honestly think, and that's the thing, when you see something innocent slaughtered, I mean, that's why I think the cross is so powerful. Because when you see something innocent slaughtered, um, tortured, brutalized, something moves. There's something in our humanity that just moves. Really, nothing else can move it, but it when that happens, and I think there was something unbelievably humanizing about his plea to breathe, his plea to live. You couldn't argue with that. That's what moves me to tears. That's what moves me to really even make this video, because I'm like, okay, what if that was me? What if that were someone who was within your radius? That's when it gets real. But again, I'm not, and I hate I have to say this now. I mean, I'm not someone who likes to overplay this racist card, or who likes to, just, again, I don't make I don't put a lot of content out there that's, politically inflammatory and things like this. But this is one of those moments, guys, where I'm just like, wow, this one hurt. This cut deep. And I think things are, like, we're going to see some changes that I don't know that we've seen before. And honestly, I don't know if it weren't for COVID, if we would be, I don't know if COVID softened some of our hearts, but maybe as a society, I think we're humbled. I think society maybe is humbled in a different way right now that allows us to kind of feel this in a different way. A guy on TV who's begging to breathe, and whose life was taken from him, murdered. I understand all the details need to come out and so forth, and there's always three sides to the story. I just ask us to pray. Put more pressure on God than you put on people. What prayer does is it puts the pressure on the resources of God versus the resources of man. The resources of man can't change this. I don't know what your faith orientation is, but I stand by that. The resources of man can't change something that is a spiritual battle. This is something that is in the unseen parts all around us. And so, anyway, I just want to make a short video. I love you guys. Man, let's be in prayer, and let's take care of each other.